And we're live, and we have an error. We're going to work through that error with my man Tony Tone. Tony D's in the house, the random multi-broadcaster, special guest and friend, never a foe to the room. Danny Thompson's in the room.
Good
Danny,
evening,
how you
fellas.
doing?
Good evening.
Man, we just finished watching a barn burner. No, not Thursday Night Football. We was talking about Bucks and Sixers. This is what we were expecting, Danny. And we were just talking about it's your time of the year. Welcome. It's the NBA season. Even though you're a connoisseur of all sports, your sweet spot is the NBA. So how you been?
I feel like Dame was in the fourth quarter. It's that time where you just take over the game, and and the good thing is now we're 2 days into the season, and all 30 teams have played at least one game. So we have the chance to see everybody play, and ironically, the game on right now, LeBron and Kevin Durant haven't played in the same regular season game together in 5 years.
Wow. But you know what? There's so much star power nowadays. I don't want to say that LeBron versus Durant seems like yesteryear's story, but it kind of seems like not that they're ready to change the changing of the guard, but we're getting close. We're getting pretty close.
It's been 20 years since LeBron's been in the league, so yeah, it is time. It's been 20 years.
I think at some point, just with any era of basketball, Ted, you were around when the peach basket first got here, so you were around when James Naismith was creating the game and stuff. I think you played on the first team, but we have this time of year, this part of basketball. LeBron's been here 21 years. Like, this is his 21st opening night, and it's funny how people talk about his minute restriction, and he's playing 28 to 30 minutes a night. But he's still putting up the numbers at 39 years old that guys that wish they could do at 29. We're looking at Kevin Durant's 35, Steph Curry's 34. Dame Lillard is just turned 33. So, the best players in the league, yeah, they're starting to get older, but look at the new crop of guys coming in. We watched Luka have a triple-double last night. Nikola Jokic had the easiest triple-double on opening night that you would think of. And then you have guys who are going to be studs going forward: Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama. The league's in great hands. There's so many more names you can name, but the league is in great hands. And Ted, don't forget your boy Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland. I know your dream scenario playing down the street from you in Brooklyn. So we're in great hands. Like, this league has always been in great hands. I don't think we're ever going to revert back to what we saw in the early 2000s, where it was just Kobe and 48 basketball games anymore. So we won't have any more of that no time soon.
Danny, we're going to start off with 5 expectations, 5 questions for you. First one being expectations. The Victor Wembanyama era has begun. What are your expectations for him this season?
It's funny. Victor Wembanyama had 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting with 2 assists in his debut. Ironically, that was the same stat line of Tim Duncan in his debut as well, too. 15 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 2 assists. What to expect from Wembanyama? I think you're going to get probably around 19 to 21 points a game, probably around 8 or 9 rebounds, at least 2.5 blocks a game, a couple of threes, some assists, some plays that you'll never see before because he's 7'4", 7'5", with crossover skills and handles you'll never see. So I'm expecting those types of numbers, a whole bunch of wow moments, and a whole bunch of what just happened. What am I watching here? So I think the sky's the limit. This Rookie of the Year race is not going to be easy, but I do see almost 21 and 10 as a rookie. That's not too much of too big of an expectation.
JoJo was good.
JoJo, Mr. B is in the building.
What's happening,
JoJo,
guys?
what's going on? JoJo, Danny, JoJo.
What's happening, Danny?
What's up, Joe?
How you doing?
Living the dream.
I hear that, man.
So I guess the next question I have for you is, I guess it's for Heat Nation, for the Heat locker room. Um, what do you tell? What do you tell that core? What do you tell after the entire summer of, are they going to get Dame? Are they getting Dame? Are they not getting Dame? You got Tyler Hero getting dangled around like, yesterday's news. First question is of this combo question is, what would you tell Miami if you were Pat Riley or part of his front office, and would you get in the James Harden business?
Well, let's answer the second part first. There's no way James Harden gets anywhere near South Beach. Unless the team he's playing for is in town, there is no way. James Harden, for what James Harden is, he's still a 22-point, 10 assist a game guy, but there's just so much stuff he has off the court. And of all places that you want James Harden, the city of Miami, there's not a chance in hell that happens. Pat Riley would literally walk off set if he allowed that trade to happen. And what do you tell the locker room? Listen, this locker room somehow got to the NBA Finals where their leading scorer, Tyler Hero, hurts his wrist and hurts his hand literally in the first game of the playoffs. And they got to the finals. There is no Gabe Vincent. There is no Max Strus, who all got paid going to other places. So what has Miami always done? It's next man up. Miami's always had next man up mentality. And remember, the Heat were almost eliminated in the play-in game. So it wasn't like the Heat was his first place team that just somehow fell apart. They were literally one game away from being at home last year after getting punched in the face by Atlanta in home at the play-in game the first time around. There's not really much to say. This is a 500, maybe a 43-win team. But just like always, Jimmy Butler is a different animal in the playoffs. The first two rounds of Jimmy Butler is a complete different animal. So I expect them to be in the play-in game. I think you bring Tyler Hero back. I think they just have to find some kind of way to get out of Kyle Lowry's contract and go find some decent role players other than Duncan Robinson at this point.
Do you, just as a follow-up question, do you extend Bam? Do you extend Bam this season or next season?
I think what happens is you extend him after the next season, because if you do it now, the cap hold hits when Kyle Lowry's contract comes off the books. So, the one thing about NBA is always financial flexibility going forward. The new CBA has going to really hurt teams when it comes to bringing in these major players or trying to put super teams together, because it's going to be hard when you hit the different levels of the luxury tax. So I think Miami's going to try to keep the flexibility. It's almost the same way that Philadelphia didn't extend Tyrese Maxey earlier in the week, because the cap hold hits at the beginning of next season instead of the following year, where you have Maxey on a $13 million cap hold and you're able to sign free agents. So Miami's going to wait. I think you'll let him go into restricted free agency, and you're going to open the book up. Adebayo is the next player in Miami's future. So you're open the book up. You just wait, and Bam makes more money if he waits another year anyway.
Who do you expect to have a bigger impact on their team of the new players that have arrived? A Chris Paul or Bradley Beal?
Bradley Beal. Because truth be told, I don't think Chris Paul ends the season in Golden State. I don't know how this is going to work. It's watching it in open night was weird to watch. It was really, and when it wasn't so bad with Draymond not being out, but when Draymond returns, how is that 3-guard lineup going to work? Who's playing center? Is it Kevon Looney or is it Draymond Green? Because you can't keep Looney and Green on the court with Steph, Clay, and Wiggins, because Chris Paul is not going to have it. It just looks awkward with Chris Paul, with Steph Curry being more off ball. It just looks awkward. It almost reminds me of D'Angelo Russell's first year in Golden State. Curry gets hurt. D'Angelo Russell has trade value. They injure Andrew Wiggins, and what happens after that? They win a championship. I don't think Chris Paul ends up finishing the year in Golden State. I think because of the chemistry situation, but I think Chris Paul ends up on somebody's contending team. I think close to the deadline. I think it's good for all parties. I can't see the Warriors winning it with Chris Paul in a 3-guard lineup, especially when all 3 guards are 34 plus. I can't see it.
For the Bucks, a Buck-centric question. I know we just watched the new Milwaukee Bucks. Question is, bless you. Question is, what was the bigger get? Giannis signing the extension a year early, or just the Bucks front office grabbing Dame from out of nowhere?
You have to think, if you watch that fourth quarter, and every time in the last 3 minutes that somebody would get a rebound, especially Giannis, and he's handing that ball off to Dame, and he's moving out the way, Giannis is thanking every bit of his organization. Of course, he's going to commit. I think getting Dame was the biggest thing because it gets Giannis to sign. But watching that end of the game stretch, because Giannis was like, you know what? I have been taking all of this pressure for the last few years. I struggle to hit free throws. Everybody's packing the paint when I touch the basketball. Now I got a guy on my side that can shoot anywhere from 45 feet in. As soon as he crosses half court, you have to guard him because he can launch anywhere in time. You have a guy that's going to take games over. It's going to make things easier for Giannis. Like, this is like almost a new age Kobe and Shaq type situation where you have, Giannis beating you up for 3 quarters, and then Dame just literally scoring 16, 17 in the fourth quarter. It makes Chris Middleton be the highest paid 3rd player in the league, and the Bucks are the best team in the Eastern Conference. We just watched it. They're the best team in the East.
Smoke, what's going on? We all know Daryl Morey's a liar, right? It's a low down dirty shame. He's a liar. If he pulls off the Herschel Walker trade with Embiid to the Knicks for, I don't know, 3 or potentially 4 first-round picks, along with Randall, RJ Barrett, and others, does that change your perception of Daryl Morey? And is he still the GM and VP of the Sixers at the end of the season?
If Joel Embiid hits the button, the nuclear launch button, Daryl Morey ain't making those picks. I'm going to tell you that now. He won't make any of those picks.
Do the Knicks want Joel Embiid is my question.
Is
a good question.
Do ducks swim in water? Like,
let me tell you something, bro. I'm about to jump in on this. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. If you're able, let's be truthfully honest. Okay, they traded Obi Toppin away to Indiana, and they got nothing but 2nd-round picks. This trade sounds easier if Obi Toppin is still on the roster, but he's gone, and you weren't going to pay him. At this point, if you're sending Mitchell Robinson, R.J. Barrett, and you have 14 first-round draft picks in the next 5 years, you unload all those picks, send Evan Fournier's contract, give up Barrett, give up Mitchell Robinson, and you're putting Julius Randle next to Joel Embiid, next to Jalen Brunson, and most importantly, the Knicks still have financial flexibility to go fill out this roster.
Okay. So the way you just spelled that out, and I apologize for cutting you off, the way you just spelled that out sounds good. Joel Embiid also has fragility issues, if you will. I'll take over Joel Embiid personally, and as a Knicks fan, you're talking about getting rid of a roster that has made it to the playoffs. Now, you threw the draft picks in there. Let me get this straight. With that trade, the Knicks get those draft picks, or do the 76ers get those draft picks?
Yeah, you got 14 draft picks. Give them up. At some point, you were going to give them up for Donovan Mitchell anyway. So why don't you give them up for Embiid? What's the difference? In fact, you get a low post dominant center, a big man. What have the Knicks always loved? They love Patrick Ewing. They still talk about Patrick Ewing to this day. Joel Embiid would be the modern day Patrick Ewing. He'd be in a city that he will embrace. That's the thing. This is almost
right there is where I'm at.
It's almost the same as Carmelo Anthony showing up. The only difference was if they would have waited 4 months, they wouldn't have had to gut the entire roster to get Carmelo in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Why does this feel like Carmelo Part 2?
The only difference is Embiid's under a long-term contract, so there ain't no way he walking down the street. And truth be told, if he does hit the nuclear button, he wants to go up I-95. If anything,
he wants to be up there. That's different.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. What does Joel Embiid love? He loves the spotlight. He loves being the man, and he's not afraid of anything.
No, he's not.
And to take on the biggest thing in the world, the country, is New York.
Yeah.
And if you can be that guy to bring a championship to New York, and I'm sorry, y'all all watched Jalen Brunson last year go from being a 6-man role player to being one of the best players in the NBA last season, turned into that. He's there.
Joel's going to bring a championship to the Knicks.
If you still have Julius Randle, you still have Jalen Brunson, you still have Josh Hart, you still have DiVincenzo, you still have cap space, and you still have draft picks.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You still have
a chance.
He wants to come to New York good because a lot of people don't want to come to New York. I'm going to give you that.
And then you can resign quickly. You can really resign IQ, and you still have Quentin Grimes. You still have a whole bunch of talent to go around and be. This is way more talent than he has in Philadelphia. This is way more than Philadelphia. And look what he did in Philadelphia with what he's had.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Okay.
Fair enough.
It's just that can Embiid go with the coaching? That's the other part. Like, is the coaching going to be right for Embiid, or do you have to get a new head coach up in there to fix this whole problem? That's what it is.
Gotcha.
But no, you give Embiid that roster, and you don't have to give up everything. I would trade Barrett more than I would trade Randall, especially with Toppin down in Indiana.
Hate to lose Randall.
If you had Toppin, it makes sense. If you had Obi replace it, if you had Obi Toppin, it makes sense. But since he's gone, you keep Randall as much as you can.
So I said this to Smoke yesterday. I said, has RJ Barrett plateaued in your interpretation of it? Is this the best that we're going to see of RJ Barrett? Because we've been waiting for this development for how long?
He's not consistent with the jump shot. It's almost as frustrating watching RJ Barrett as it is watching Andrew Wiggins, because you see everything that you want in RJ Barrett the same way you see Andrew Wiggins. It's something that is missing. RJ Barrett doesn't have consistency with the jump shot. He is a high volume scorer. It's just that he's so inconsistent. He's a 20-point-a-game scorer because he takes 16, 17 shots a game. He's a good free throw shooter. He gets to the rim. I don't think he's going to be the 25-point, 27-point-a-game scorer the Knicks need. This is the best you can. Listen, if RJ Barrett is enough to land me Joel Embiid, you have won. He has given the Knicks the best Christmas present ever.
So I'm going to reel off these 5 teams. Tell me, who do you expect to see in the NBA Finals? Denver, Milwaukee, Boston, Phoenix, LA Lakers.
All right, we're going to cancel the Phoenix already because I don't think none of them going to stay healthy long enough. I don't. Kevin Durant's going to have some kind of freak injury. The man slipped on a court in a warm-ups in his first home game and basically torpedoed the entire season after this. Bradley Beal already has back problems. Beal hasn't played a full season since, I think, John Wall was in Washington. And there's still depth issue. We're going into a game in the opening night where Grayson Allen was supposed to be one of the biggest, was supposed to be the Mike Miller of this team. If you look how the big threes put together, Grayson Allen is Mike Miller. And Grayson Allen saw less minutes than Eric Gordon and Drew Eubanks. That's scary. I think the Lakers, this is now on Anthony Davis at this point. Because for one half of basketball on Tuesday night, Anthony Davis was like he was going to be a top 10 player in the world. Him and Joker, and I see JoJo's picture in the background boxing. It was looking like a heavyweight championship fight between AD and Joker because they were going at it on offense, defense. They were throwing punches.
Yeah.
But just like my Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl, Anthony Davis went missing in the second half. Nothing.
Man went MIA.
He said it. I did.
I'm a Falcons fan, so I can do this.
I live in GM, bro. I'm sorry for you.
I'm a diehard Falcons fan. Ted knows.
I feel you.
But
I'm a diehard Jets man. I understand.
At the end of the day, it's really on Anthony Davis at this point. LeBron is 39 years old. He can't be the best player. Anthony Davis has to bring it. I love Austin Reeves. I just struggle with the Lakers in the finals. So give me Denver in the finals. All right, on the West side. When it comes to Milwaukee and Boston, here's where I think the difference is. I love Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown only goes one direction. And yes, Boston has Milwaukee's point guard. But Milwaukee has the better of the point guards. They have a finisher. They have a closer. You have Giannis. Give me the Bucks in Denver in the finals that we all want to see. I know it's not the major markets. I know it's not, it's not Knicks versus Lakers, which have been television's greatest drama. But watching Giannis and Joker go at it in the finals is what we all want anyway.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
There would be.
Yeah.
Two final questions for you. One being the great Mark Spears from ESPN, from Anscape, every year does a video series where he chooses a specific player all season long. The player itself puts together a journal of their day-to-day interactions with the team, with dealing with home life and everything else like that. If you had an opportunity to do a video/written series, who would be the player and why?
All right, let's cancel some players already. Zion Williamson and John Morant, I'm already going to throw out the window because I don't want to hear anything about Zion and Instagram models. And I want Ja to be better. I want Ja to get his life together. I really, really, I'm a John Morant fan. I want no media surrounding him. I want him to get himself together because Ja is one of those faces of the future. So we'll cancel those two out. So Ted, you said one player. I got three players because it's hard to choose one. So let's go with Oklahoma City's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Listen, he's Canadian. He plays on a team that is one of the youngest teams in the league. To be able to watch him lead a team that has not only him, but you have Josh Giddey from Australia, you have Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort from Montreal. This is Pokasev, who's I forgot what Poke he's from. But there's so much international talent on that team. To see a Canadian-born leader lead that team. And let's be honest, SGA is one of the 10 best players in the league. Could be top 5 by the end of the year. He's just that good. He's really that good. So watching how a young player does it is amazing. It would be, I think, a great thing to watch. Number 2 would be Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. Listen, Michael Jordan was ready to move sun, moon, and earth to get Anthony Edwards in the draft. Anthony Edwards went to Steve Kerr and said, why am I not getting the ball when there's no Kobe's on this team but me? Essentially. Right. Anthony Edwards is every definition of a dog, and I want to see how that works on a day-to-day basis. He's got the Adidas deal. He's a good kid. But I want to see him and Karl Anthony Towns interact with each other with Rudy Gobert. Because I've heard the stories from Jimmy Butler about dealing with Cat. I want to see Anthony Edwards, how he deals with somebody a little bit older than him, that he's still not the alpha of this team. So I think Edwards is a guy I would love to watch. And truth be told, if we're going to go with the rookie route, Wemby's got too much on his plate. He's going to have too much media attention. So guess what? Give me Scoot Henderson. I've loved Scoot Henderson since G League Ignite. I was a proponent of drafting him in Charlotte. He has a great story, a great family. They're all around. So you're going to have not just Scoot, but you're going to have the entire family around. It's a close-knit bunch. He is now taking over for a legend in his prime, the franchise's best player, and he's been given the keys to the castle. So I want to see, and the thing is, he played professional basketball since he's been 17 because he was in G League Ignite for 2 years. So this is not a deer in headlights. This is an actual grown man coming into the NBA already grown because he's been playing grown men for the last 2 years. So, and you got to think, he has a chip on his shoulder. No one thought he was going to – everybody said he was behind Wemby. There was not one person that said that he should have been taken above Wemby in any type of mock draft, and he plays with that type of Wemby-sized chip on his shoulder. So give me any one of those three guys, and you got my Netflix version of quarterback. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Got it. One final thing I want to mention is everyone's been. It dropped on Front Office Sports this morning. The new streaming platform Playback, which is going to allow podcasters, content creators to interact with the NBA. They want the Manning cast on steroids. I expect to see you on Playback in some shape, form, or fashion, talking about NBA and everything else like that. Danny, where can we find your work? What's your Substack? What's your social handles? All the above.
Well, guys, once again, it's always a pleasure being on Late Night Parents. Finally get a chance to hang out with the illustrious Tony D. I have heard this voice. I've heard Tony D's voice so many times in this podcast. I think I hear more than Ted's voice. So it's great to be with you. Like I said, meeting Joe for the first time. You can find me. My Twitter handle is right under my name. It's at Danny D-A-N-N-Y 3 Thompson. My Substack, which is the wonderful world of data. It's an analytical look at basketball from a learner's perspective. Most common NBA fans hate analytics. They hate how it changes basketball and makes it a numbers game. But really, it's more intrusive than you think. And a lot of times, those numbers actually show what is actually on the court. So I break it down from a very beginner's angle to help people understand it better. You might be a data guy when it's all over it. So you'll see me on there. And I don't know, Ted, I might dip into a playback once or twice to see what it's about.
All right.
You might catch one sometime soon. Once we get out the first 2 weeks of the season, probably. Not guaranteed.
Got it. Danny, want to thank you for coming through, as always. And I'm sure we'll get to see you very shortly on a one-on-one on Playback, and if not, on LMP. Thanks again for coming through here.
Always, gentlemen. Have a great night.
All right.
Good meeting you.
And that was the great Danny Thompson coming through to talk NBA and the like. JoJo, how are you? How are you feeling 2 weeks back out of that situation?
Yeah, I'm good though. I've been good. I've been getting some rest, chilling, hanging out a little bit. I've been good though. I've been good. Yeah.
That's good.
Feeling good, catching up with some things. But yeah.
Hold on, I'm just sending my thank yous to Danny coming through.
To him, I swear, and I gotta say this again, man. I was just thinking about this the other night. Basketball season started. You gotta have Danny up here when he do his show. Big ups for that. That was perfectly. That was time.
Oh yeah.
That is his world. Basketball is his world on your show, straight up. Big ups
our crackpot production team. Was working on a few things, but
that was prime time for real.
Before we get into little fantasy football and mixed martial arts, wanted to discuss a couple of items. One that's timely. And it is present. Here we go. Share screen. Share the screen. Joe, we talked about this last week about the NWA to air on the CW network.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, here's the crazy thing about it. The CW network reaches 99% of U.S. television households.
Yes.
That reach is crazy.
Yep.
So it's I mean, you used to think of the CW really more on the lines of, the Arrowverse shows and we remember the type of shows that used to be on CW. But I tell you, ever since Nexstar has taken them over, they're involved in NASCAR, they're involved in Inside the NFL, Live Golf, they're starting to pick up specific sports because they know people watch sports. So it's a top 20 network. It's, it does keep things interesting. Billy Corgan was talking about this specific type of deal. It's 2 actual shows. It's, the rights to their flagship wrestling show, Power. And it's also a reality show, kind of like behind the scenes at the NWA. So as we know it, WWE has Fox and USA. Well, Fox for a short term, and then, probably that's going to be interesting with how WWE goes to who do they, where does SmackDown go to, or where does Raw go to? But AEW has TNT and TBS.
Yep.
Impact Wrestling, as you mentioned, Mr. B, is going to be renamed to TNA Wrestling, which is revisiting the past. They're on Axis, and now NWA is on CW Network. It's. I hope and pray they don't lose their following on YouTube. I still think they should still air some content on YouTube, like standalone content, not like re-aired or simulcast content on YouTube. But I think that's a big move for them. Any thoughts on NWA joining CW Network?
I think it's a good idea for them, NW. Oh my God, what the hell? NWA, long-standing wrestling organization. To get more eyes on it is a good idea, man. It's a good idea for them to switch up and get out there to the public. Get out there more to the public. They do their syndicated shows. It's small, it's a real old school. They're so old school, and you want to see them. That's the frustrating thing. Every time I watch NWA, they have the old school feel. It's syndicated.
Yes.
Small audience. They watch. And you're like, man, if this could hit more viewers. That's the one thing you always say if you watch it. Regardless of who's wrestling there. Because they have some good talents that go through there. Just wish it had more viewers. Then they get on YouTube. And they get some viewership there. But you're like, if they could get to more, if they get a TV deal.
Right.
They could just get a TV deal. And now here we are. They got pay-per-views. Their pay-per-views do pretty well. But you just want more eyes on the product. And now here we are.
But my question for you is, do you keep your YouTube independence or not?
I think with the way the NWA does things, keep that YouTube there. Keep that YouTube there. Because they do they do other shows too besides the main NWA. They have like the little the NWA, they have like this little summer series they did. It was like NWA USA, something like that. And then they have these little mini series they kind of do in between. So keep that YouTube there. You can put those things there, put some highlights or whatever. But keep the YouTube there. Get this big broadcast out there. Make it work. That's all.
Leading into that,
Random Rick, what's good?
Random Rick, what's going on? B-sides with Mr. B. This is the week. I think 2 p.m. Saturday, Eastern time.
Yep.
This thing is happening.
I am kind of happy about it. Kind of iffy about it. But it's happening. But before we get into that, there's a little bit of MMA. There's a little bit of MMA. The All Ladies promotion and Victor Fighting Championships is showing an event tomorrow. They have the live event on YouTube. Invicta Fighting Championships 54. Danny McCormack out of Ireland, representing SBG Ireland. Conor McGregor's camping them. Fights this Polish girl by the name of Karolina Wojcik, who's 11-3 for the Invicta Strawweight Championship. Winner here can make a big move, probably a stride over to the UFC. Maybe we'll see. What's up, Rick? Hey, man.
Appreciate you.
We also got some other fights on here, some veterans here. Valeska Machado, who had fought for the strawweight titles in the co-main against Kalindra Faria in the strawweight. OG vet Christina Williams going to be fighting on here. Long-time regional fighter Hillary Rose will be fighting on here as well. It's pretty good, man. If you want to see the ladies do their thing, go ahead and watch that, man. But also, there's going to be ladies doing their thing in the boxing side. If you like your boxing, tune into The Zone at 9 o'clock Eastern. Or at Invicta, that's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube. This one, though, on MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, at Jake Paul joint, on 9 o'clock on The Zone. We got that card, man. Amanda Serrano defending her IBF, WBO, and WBA female world featherweight titles against Brazil's Danila Ramos in history. The first ever 12 3-minute round women's fight. Not 2-minute rounds, but 3-minute rounds. A first for women's boxing ever.
That's crazy.
So this is happening. And if this goes good, man, moving forward, we're going to get some good female fights, man. A lot better than, probably a little bit better than what we've already gotten. And the female's been representing. But this card here, the majority of this is just a lot of prospects. A lot of prospects are going to be showing up on this card. From Cuba, Puerto Rico, we got DR, we got Mexico. Not a lot of crazy stuff on here, pretty much. Just this one fight that, to me, as far as the stats kind of go, are kind of crazy. Two of them, actually. This Angel Chavez guy who's 8-0 is going to be fighting this Sladan Janine, who's 36-16. That's kind of crazy to me, as well as 47-10-2 Hernan Marquez out of Mexico will be fighting Antonio Vargas, who is 16-1, in the 118 class. If I remember that is bantamweight, yeah, bantamweight. So that's kind of nuts. But yeah. What you wanted to talk to me about, what I'm here for. Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, we will tune in to the Fight of Fights, live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. My computer, I don't know. I had the picture in the background. Y'all seen it. Tyson Fury will be facing off against the man Francis Ngannou. You know, you always ask yourself the question, what if the top guy in one sport fought the top guy in another sport? Here we are. You know, this went back to 2022 when we were discussing, should the UFC sign Francis Ngannou, re-sign him? They took the option to play games. Francis left and bet on himself. And here he is. He went to a brand new MMA promotion. He'll be debuting next year in 2024. He has a percentage of the promotion. He's also going to be in a good spot there as a overseer to the expansion of the promotion. And yeah, he gets his boxing fight with the number 2 guy, number 1 contender, the guy who's going to be trying to fight for all the titles next year against Alexander Usyk. Not next year, next month. Tyson Fury, Mr. 33-0-1. The guy who had all the titles, who beat Klitschko, who disappeared and had the three fights against Deontay Wilder. That guy, the guy that we thought got knocked down the first fight and gets up from the dead. The guy who stopped Wilder twice. That guy. That guy. And the press conferences have been kind of crazy between the two. But this dude was supposed to defend his. They said that it was going to be a title defense. Then it was going to be an exhibition. It's an exhibition. What I know, what I seen, what I could have figured, it's an exhibition fight, but it will be entertaining. The majority of this card is built up on sheer heavyweights. There's going to be probably one middleweight fight. I didn't know, one middleweight or super welterweight fight. And the rest of this is just sheer heavyweights. So enjoy this card. This card is going to be, if I remember correctly, Top Rank ESPN. So ESPN pay-per-view, you go pay for that. That's $80, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, man. Frank Warren's going to be co-promoting this. We also got a heavyweight title fight on here on the co-main between Fabio Wardley, who's 16-0, faces David Adelaide, who's 12-0. Both of these dudes are undefeated. Both of these dudes got sheer KO ability. They are nasty, nasty young boxers, bro. Skills galore. It's gonna be fun. My dude Joseph Park out of Australia is fighting Simon Keane. Park is trying to get himself back on the road since he got knocked out by Joe Joyce about 3 fights ago or so. So far, he got 1 win by decision. He had a stoppage, I think, within the first 3 rounds of the fight. He's doing pretty good. He's challenged for the titles a couple times, but hasn't quite gotten them. But he does pretty well. Martin Bacole, my fault, 19-1, will be fighting Carlos Takam, who's 47-1. Arslanbek Makhmudov, who's undefeated, 17-0, out of Russia, will be fighting Junior Anthony Wright, who's 24-1 out the States. Hella good fight. Makhmudov's been putting people to bed. So, man, you can't argue with the majority heavyweight fights on this card. I know they was trying to get the Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder fight on this card, but things happened. Andy Ruiz was supposed to be on this card. Things happened. But I'm glad it's happening. This is going to happen. Next year, we'll get our next month, damn it. We're going to get our undisputed heavyweight title fight. I'm looking forward to that. News that I did get this weekend, though, a little bit of MMA news. John Jones got injured. He'll be out of his UFC 295 fight against former title holder Stipe Miocic. This was supposed to be live in New York. It was supposed to be one of the most expensive cards to try to get tickets to. But because that fight fell through, man, those ticket prices have dipped. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to get tickets now, go ahead. Live in MSG, they moved there's no longer that. So the co-main event, which is not Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prochazka, who was the former UFC light heavyweight champion, will be fighting the former middleweight champion Alex Pereira, former Glory 2-division kickboxing world champion. He stopped Israel Adesanya to win the middleweight title. Yuri Prochazka had won the title but got injured, so he had to vacate the light heavyweight title. So technically never really lost it. So he'll be fighting in the main event. The co-main will now be replaced by number 2 and number 4 heavyweights, Sergey Pavlovich, and number 4, Tom Aspinall out of the UK. Pavlovich is out of Russia. Aspinall's out of the UK, more so England. He's trained with the Furies. Trains with Tyson, Huey, Papa Fury. That's how he gets his boxing. Boxing pretty crisp. Look forward to that card, though. But yeah, we're talking about a major price drop. Front row tickets to that event were 6 figures.
What?
That's how insane this fight was going to be. Bruh, nosebleeds were close to 4 figures.
Nah, I'm good.
This is how insane this UFC card was looking to be. But they lost a lot of power because this was going to possibly be John Jones' last fight. Right. And it was going to be Stipe's possibly last fight. So both these dudes were going to possibly retire after this fight. But John tore his pec, so he's out for 8 months. And Stipe didn't want to fight for an interim title. He wanted to fight John Jones, and I respect it. So Stipe's sitting on the sideline. And that's that. That's all I got for you on Combat Sports. Take it or leave it, but that's it.
Hey, so I have a couple of follow-up questions. What is going on with this? We heard this week that Paramount could be up for sale. What is going on with the potential sale of Bellator?
Yo, I think I mentioned it before. Things have been halted. It seems that Bellator is just going to continue to do what it's doing and ride till the wheels fall off. They'll ride it out. When they can't put on no more events, they'll close up shop, it looks like. And the fighters will go and get picked up to wherever they get picked up by. It's weird. It's a very weird situation because PFL and them were supposed to work things out. It never happened, and it looks like they're just gonna wait till the organization just dissolves, and then they'll just take the fighters wherever the fighters go.
I guess it's the cheaper route to go.
Yeah. If you want to say, I guess if you want to say that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because if Showtime Sports is going away at the end of the year, technically that would mean Bellator and everything else would go away. Yeah. I think.
True.
I don't know. I don't know. I would have liked to see PFL grab Bellator or grab certain pieces of Bellator. Because my question is, at some point, I'm sure someone would grab that library.
Yeah. Would. I would like to see somebody grab that library. Bellator's been around for quite some time.
Right.
Quite some time. And their earlier tournaments and events were pretty damn good. Damn good. And considering, the guys you possibly will pick up if, you know what I mean, depending on where they go, whatever, to have that library, man, would be very, very helpful. Very helpful. Yeah, you got a list of legends that have walked in the Bellator. A lot of historic fights have taken place. It would be nice. But I see the UFC gonna play hardball and try to pull a Vince McMahon type move. We'll see if they drop in price. Mm-hmm. I can see the UFC picking up the majority of that talent on a WWE type move.
Got it.
Kind of like how they got WCW.
Yes.
Like 20 million, was it? They got the library. I think they picked up the library enough for like $20 million.
For next to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
insanity. You picked up the organization and that for like $20 million.
Yeah. Buy low, sell high.
Jesus.
Mr. B, I know we can catch the B-sides on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. through however you grab your live stream and or listen to your podcast. I saw you went live yesterday. I didn't listen to it yet. Did you go 2 hours or did you cut it to about an hour? What was it yesterday?
It was an hour and change. It was an hour and
Hour
change. It was a little under 2. It was a little under 2. It
Got
wasn't for much, but it was just me talking about the last week's the pay-per-view.
Got it.
It was just mainly about talking about the pay-per-view and Volk's decisions because, you know, Volk got dusted and Volk want to fight back in January. He wants to fight in January. Like, bro, you just got head kicked. You got head kicked. And you want to go back and fight in January? No, rest up and fight in March. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
As we segue to Tony D's Belt Kings Fantasy Football.
Mm-hmm.
Tony D.
Mm-hmm.
First question for you. Brock Purdy. System quarterback. And number 2, are you surprised we didn't see Tua Part 2 where the player goes out there, catches a concussion, and then comes back the following week and something disastrous happens?
We don't need disastrous from Tua. They've been protecting him. They've been playing pretty clean around him. He's been enduring his fights. I'm gonna give the opposing team since the first injury respect for that, honestly, because I was a big proponent of he need to sit his ass down. Yep. I didn't like what I saw when he did go down. I didn't like how it looked. And I think everybody was stunned at how severe his injury was based on that blow. As far as Brock Purdy, number 1, he's going to be fine. The team's going to rally around him. They got something going good with him. He's making his numbers. The 49ers are the most dangerous team in the NFL right now. They pretty much.
What's your thoughts on Sam Darnold potentially starting on Sunday for the 49ers?
Good. This may be his only chance. This may be his only chance pending.
Oh, my God.
Purdy going out.
We watched Sam Darnold for how many years?
Dude,
it was disastrous.
My fantasy league his rookie season.
The bad, man.
I got messages back and forth. He got a pick 6 on his first throw. People will never let me live that down. So I'm gonna need Sam Darnold to come clean while he's out there. This probably be the only opportunity this season to start pending the injury. You might want to maximize this, no disrespect. And your team is loaded. Anything goes wrong, they're gonna blame you. Anything goes wrong, they're gonna blame him.
Yeah.
What's your take leading up to this season of hearing Belichick could be on his way out, Belichick this, Kraft is not happy, and then the news last week that Belichick signed another long-term deal?
Belichick's going to sign another long-term deal because he's going to remain with the Patriots organization. He just may not be the head coach. Right now, what's going on with him and what's happening with Mac Jones and their numbers, it's not looking good. Those two are not looking like a good tandem.
Macaroni Jones?
Yeah, Macaroni Jones. I actually saw a story where they were saying what's happening to Mac Jones is abysmal. It's not even his fault. It's the system. I kind of want to question that, but I'm not up there and I'm not seeing enough games to talk back about it. We all know it worked for Brady. It's not working for Mac Jones. We don't know why.
No.
I think he'll be on the trading block soon.
I think so myself.
I think he'll be on the trading block soon. They'll get rid of him before they get rid of Belichick. They'll try somebody else. Or hell, they'll get Jimmy Garoppolo back before they get rid of Belichick. Garoppolo's been to the Super Bowl without Belichick. You might want to put the two of them together and see if that'll work.
Jeez.
What do you see? Do you see there's October 31st trade deadline. Do you see what would be the trade that would totally knock your socks off?
Between all the teams?
Yes. If there was one specific trade that you would be shocked that happened, what would it be?
The Ezekiel Elliott trade to the Patriots blew my mind. Trey Lance blew my mind. We never saw it coming. I don't even know what would be coming. Right now, and I'm going to base something on the conversations we've had amongst each other. Kirk Cousins leaving the Vikings. Damn near to about 6 teams in the NFL right now. They could use a better quarterback outside of the Jets. I will throw out there the Patriots.
Yeah.
I will throw Carolina. I will throw Washington back into the mix. Him with Ron Rivera, I think, could do something. I would almost throw him to Denver. Maybe even Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas needs.
Let's look at all of this.
Yeah,
Let's look at all of this.
yeah. Look at
He
Vegas.
could go to a bunch of teams and that will be a monster. And Kirk's been pretty consistent, even though he hasn't been much in the playoffs. And Ted, I'm going to say it again. I have to admit this. Zeke going to the Patriots and Trey Lance going to the Cowboys blew my mind. I don't even know how to beat those two trades alone in this past offseason.
I'm going to throw something out here.
Go.
Devontae Adams to the Jets.
Javonte Adams for the Broncos?
Devontae Adams,
The wide receiver.
The wide receiver,
Yeah.
who was with Green Bay.
Yeah,
who got traded to the Raiders.
Yes.
If there's a last second, that was Aaron Rodgers' number one receiver.
Yeah. Why would that?
At that point, I would say expect Rodgers back. I don't know. Game 11, game 12.
I think no. Rodgers don't need to come back this season. Let's just stop it. He don't need to come back this season.
If they pull a trade like that,
yeah.
You know, I don't know what that means for the offensive line, but you're telling me you got Wilson and you got Adams?
And you already got Lazard up there.
And you got Lazard? Game over.
Breece Hall just waiting for the ball.
Dog.
He's waiting for the ball, and he's ready. Big ups to Breece Hall. I think I'm going to stick with the Kirk Cousins trade. That would be a monster. Where would he go?
Do you see Saquon moving?
No, he doesn't want to leave. If he leaves, they're sending him. He's not because he wants to.
Bro.
Right.
It ain't even about the money no more. He said he wants to stay with the Giants. That story actually came out at the beginning of the season. He wants to stay. He ain't trying to leave.
I don't know about y'all, but this Derrick Henry trade rumor thing, man.
Yeah, it's him and DeAndre Hopkins. That's
this thing is man.
Man. Tennessee is going to look like the Carolina Panthers when they do that. They're getting rid of everybody. Hill's already going. That's going to be sick. Who's going to take them? That's the question. Who's going to take him?
Derrick Henry, man.
Still a beast.
Yeah, who is? Yeah, what team is going to say?
DeAndre Hopkins is still fresh. Will they go, even if they go separate? The most dangerous thing is those two go to the same team together. Good God have mercy.
Has it been a bigger bust than Dalvin Cook this season with the Jets?
Dalvin Cook hasn't gotten the ball yet. They're saving him for the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All he got to do is get right. Him and Aaron Rodgers come back. It's on.
I don't think Dalvin Cook makes it beyond the 31st.
Probably because he hasn't gotten the ball yet and his talent's sitting there. Maybe he's hiding. Maybe he's sitting down just healing up. Quite frankly, last year's roster can get them above 500. Who they brought on the team is to get them through the playoffs, in my opinion. That's how the Jets look right now. They got what Dallas had. Dallas had a good first string and a second string. The Jets now have a good first string and a second string to carry them through the season and get them through the playoffs. Maybe not even a Super Bowl right now because we got Aaron Rodgers injured, but get them through the playoffs. Make it to the second, third round playoffs. Jets fans will shut up. Get in the playoffs. Win a playoff game. Everybody's contract's extended. That's Everybody's contracts extended. That's just how it's looking.
Oh man, true that.
What's your thoughts on the Bills? Are they pretenders? I know I said that in a group chat, and Mr. B was ready to rip my head off. Because we've been hearing so much for the last couple of seasons about the Bills.
They just won the game. They just beat the Bucs. They held on. They're not the dominant 2-3 touchdown team that everybody's been expecting, but they're still winning.
Yeah.
So
they are going through their woes, though. They are going through
5-3 halfway through the season. You're looking good. You just got to maintain. They're not pretenders. They're contenders. They are Super Bowl contenders. We're not talking playoffs records. They're Super Bowl contenders. Straight up.
Even with 90% of the offense being generated through the quarterback and the wide receiver,
they're still winning. It's working. Whatever they're doing is working.
Yeah.
Just being honest. Whatever they're doing is working. And I got to say that the same way I was talking about Green Bay. I never thought Green Bay was going to see the playoffs the way they did these past 3 seasons with Aaron Rodgers. With 2-3 main players. Killing it. Straight up.
Yeah. And our Ravens got back in the road, man.
Yo, Ravens,
boy. How about them Ravens looking like their old selves, man?
I'm sleeping on the Ravens. I'm sleeping because I don't see it. I'm not catching it, but they're doing it. Big ups to the Ravens. They dominate. Just talking about this last night. Y'all get a chance, check out me and him was talking for about an hour.
You remember like last couple of weeks leading up, everyone was screaming about the Lions. I do think the Lions are a good team. I just don't think they are there yet.
They're there.
When they
Jared Goff told me to speak with them. They're winning. They have won. I think they tied for the most games won for the biggest win streak or the longest win streak ever, or at least since 96, 97. Something like that. They're on pace to win that many consecutive games. So big ups to the Lions. They for real right now.
Yeah.
They're for real. They just got to make it through the playoffs. That's another team. Win the playoff game, everybody's contract extended. Just win one. Just win one. You'll get there, but now you got to win the game.
Word. And the Browns.
Any standouts from this upcoming week? Any teams that we should have our eyes on? I think we're playing in Germany for the next 2 weeks. Maybe not this weekend, but I know definitely next weekend. The weekend after, there's games in Germany.
Well, let's do this properly. Jets and Giants are Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
3 of us are native New Yorkers. Let's just be honest. This is big.
Yep.
Jets have not been favored to beat the Giants in quite some time. I think
I don't think it's big. I don't think it's big.
No?
It's big for us as New Yorkers because, like I said, the Jets have not been favored to beat the Giants in a long time.
Yeah.
So that's a big game. I will make that a big game. I think no, ain't no big games besides that one right now.
Mm-mm. But I clearly think the Jets are going to whip them on
Rams, Cowboys, maybe. Vikings, Packers could be big.
The Bengals 49ers game?
Bengals
It
49ers.
should be. That is a Super Bowl contention game, in my opinion.
You got the Rams Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, but the Rams look like they're back.
I'm telling you, man.
Like they're back. 49ers, Bengals should be good. Let me go with the Browns and the Seahawks. That might be a monster.
I was gonna say that because you got no Watson.
I'm sitting here looking at this.
You got no Watson. Chubb is out. Ford is injured, I think. Yeah.
That might be the good one. But I'm gonna roll with Jets Giants. I think that's like Mets Yankees for us.
And it's a 1:00 game. nice and
To
early.
all my fellow Catholics, y'all go ahead and let the pastor know y'all got a game in one. I don't want nobody taking their time going up to get communion. I'm gonna need y'all to get y'all.
Oh my
God.
I actually went to church one time. I'm gonna throw this out there. This ain't no disrespect to my church, but I actually went to church one time, and the pastor got service over 45 minutes. He said, "I want to let everybody know I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm not going to hold you all up." We said, "Thanks be to God." That's a good time. That's a good time right there.
Oh my goodness!
All of my fellow Catholics in New York, gotta go to church. Don't be taking all day. Don't get all crunk. Just get it on. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna celebrate anyway. You're gonna have the spirit anyway. You're watching the game. If you live in if you're amongst the other denominations, it's on y'all. I'm just saying. That's on y'all.
Yeah.
I think we got maybe one or two items left. I had a segment for Brian on Nobody Trusts the News Media.
Oh, Lord.
Which is right up his alley. I'm not going to touch it because he needs to be here.
I'll tell you what, let me see how tomorrow goes, and I try and do one with Brown. So
I can see him totally running with that.
Yeah, y'all say that for me. I'll try and do a broadcast for him this weekend.
You know,
he's due for his time. He's due.
But I just wanted to say, Halloween is just days away, and consumers are expected to spend roughly $12.2 billion on the occasion. Yes. Not million, billion.
Yeah, decorations and costumes, just like Christmas.
Yep.
Just like Christmas.
Everybody's leveling up their costumes, man.
While we up here, man, let's discuss costumes with people for a second. I want to throw this out there, and I'm normally the one that's tired up here, so I'm gonna be the knucklehead tonight. All of you costume makers, it's gonna be my request to come off of the traditional costumes and get more with the times. I actually went to the store a couple weeks ago with my son, looking at what's out there. They're looking for what's current. A lot of us are gonna go beyond the demons, the witches, the stormtroopers, the Freddy Kruegers, the Jason. You know, Jason mask always gonna sell. No disrespect to the Jason mask. A bunch of us got coveralls. We good, you know what I'm saying? I had one in college, and it was glow in the dark. Holla at your boy. You got to get off the traditional. I'm going to request that you all come up with the times. Definitely work on the adult suits, different sizes. Everybody's not geometrically similar. We're not all skinny. Some of us got guts. We're going to walk around with our kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've been Mr. Incredible. My son's been Shazam, Captain America, and Iron Man. You know, we want to see more Black Panthers. We want to see a little bit of M'Baku's. I'm quite sure some women want to be doing Malaji's. The rest of the people want to be Guardians of the Galaxies. We all want to be Avengers on the end game. We want to do all that. I'm gonna request some more costumes, a little bit more creativity if you have the economic leeway to design costumes as such. There's a lot of movies, a lot of characters out there. A lot of people want to be more than what's out.
Right.
I remember, I think it was like last year or the year before, Squid Game was the hot costume.
That was dangerous. Yeah. You're right, though. You're 100% correct.
Everybody got a Squid Game. They got the little wigs and the things.
Yeah. Yes.
Y'all do me a favor and come out with some more of the Justice League costumes, please.
Yeah,
old school Super Friends costumes. Can the brother be Black Vulcan one Halloween? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get them up with it, man. You see what happened when people got crazy with the Iron Man mask, man? Everybody got them Iron
where's
Man
the War Machine is all I want. I can't see a War Machine costume. You know what I'm saying?
So Wallet Hub announced its findings for a report. It says inflation still haunts us. 34% of people think inflation is the scariest thing about Halloween this year.
I don't know about that. I do know I talked to a banker today. The housing market is going to be like this about another year or two. Based on what I just went through, I think that's the biggest thing about inflation. How are you going to get a return for your money?
Yeah. Financial nightmares are common. 47% of Americans say they have nightmares about money problems.
Absolutely. Only 47%.
That's what I was gonna say.
Only 47%. You know what, Ted? Let me jump in. Fuck, I'm going to do this tonight. If it's only 40% of 7% of Americans, that means there's a lot more rich people than we know about.
Well, 53% don't have nightmares about money problems.
This should be
That's what this specific survey. 40%, 47% of the people that took the survey have nightmares about money problems.
That's why you got to question demographics or statistics. And this is no respect to the people who took those statistics. That number should be 67% of the population.
Yeah, I want to know where
they got people suffering from losing their jobs when COVID kicked off and those companies shut down and didn't come back.
Money fears grip the youth. 70% more Americans between the ages of 18 to 29, that covers Mr. B's age, say they have nightmares about money problems compared to Americans who are 60 plus years old.
60 plus people are retired. They got checks coming. Your youth don't know where the next check's going to come from because they can't get hired in the fields that they went to school for.
Yep. That's the biggest nightmare right there.
You got a job, but it's not what you went to college for. It's not what your future dream is. And most of these jobs are at will. They can drop your ass in a second.
Spooky priorities. 1 in 5 Americans say Halloween is worth going into debt for.
Because you're going to live out the day.
I don't agree with that.
Well, you're going to live out the day for the moment. You're going to buy a costume. You're going to get some candy. You're going to hang out with the kids. It's a family day for the most part. As much as there's a stereotype against Halloween, that's a good family occasion.
Yeah.
Halloween spending decline. 77% of people say they plan to spend less on Halloween this year than last year. Agreed?
It cost too damn much.
No, yeah, it depends on the costumes, yeah.
Biggest financial fear. 27% of Americans say not having enough retirement savings is their biggest financial fear. And another 27% of Americans say it's an unplanned emergency.
Facts. Unplanned emergencies. Allow me to attest for that personally myself recently. Facts. The unexpected gets you broke. Y'all better watch John Q. Y'all better watch John Q again. He had a decent job. He had benefits, and it wasn't enough to save his child. What happened? He held up a hospital.
He held up the hospital. That was the wife. She was like, "Do something, do something." And he was just like,
I need you women to stop pushing us to that limit. Last I saw, and that character's still in jail. You said do something. Now what you gonna do?
Tricky reputation for credit cards. More than 2 in 3 people think credit cards are a trick rather than a treat.
Credit cards are an opportunity to get yourself out of debt and pay it back at a low interest rate over 18 months, 24 months time span. The problem is you plan on spending it. You plan on paying it back. What you don't plan on is losing your job.
Yeah.
You don't plan on any emergency stopping you from paying it back. It's a decent no interest loan, but you got to pay it back one way or the other. And when you can't afford to pay it back is what gets you. Straight up. Smoke talking about he gonna remix his Jesus costume. We gotta work on Smoke, man.
Yo.
My goodness.
Oh, man.
You know, I had a story that I won't go into. It's TikTok, the world's most popular website, has secured partners to sell tickets to its first live music event if they're not making enough money already.
You know it's going to reach about 100 million people, right?
Yeah.
Let's just cut the nonsense. TikTok content is going to hit 100 million folks.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy.
They got to show their comments. Everybody want to see their comment on the screen.
Yep.
TikTok, holler at your boy. I don't need but about meet me at a mill because you're gonna make the money anyway. I'll leave y'all alone after that.
Like I said, had I don't want to touch this, I don't want to touch this segment without Brian being here because it's up in his wheelhouse, and the title is "Americans Don't Trust the News Media." What does Brian spend most of his time talking about? News media being too left or too right.
Yeah.
You said most of his time.
He does. Well, some of his time. Some of his
time he's talking against Democrats. I'm on Brian's ass. I'm gonna leave that stuff alone, Brian. I'm gonna just get on you talking about the Democrats. I don't know how you like non-biased in your political affiliation because you're politically homeless, but you're talking against Democrats, so it makes you look Republican. I'm on your ass.
He said it last year.
Oh, he said that number one. He said he's gonna remix the Jesus costume. Everyone talking about do something.
Mm-hmm.
And that joint was a hit last year, though, Tony D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we won't talk about news media. I think that's a wrap. 75 minutes in. I don't really want to get into talking about the NBA being investigated for trying to torpedo Ice Cube's The Big Three because they're just starting to talk about that.
I saw that a couple months ago. I got to look more into it.
But it's really picking up some heat now.
Traction? Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's really picking up some traction now.
It needs some in-depth aspect of it. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Ice Cube was actually on It Is What It Is with Cameron Mason. He broke it down.
Yep. We won't talk about, so we got to pray for peace in Jerusalem and the chaos that hit Maine. 16 lives being snuffed out.
They still ain't found that dude. I was watching that before he came up.
He's been
24 hours later. Where is he?
They went to his crib. He wasn't there.
He's on the run, man.
That's crazy.
Yep.
You know what? Let me throw this out there.
Mm-hmm.
A big old stink against him talking about he a veteran. He's a weapons instructor and all that. He wasn't always a weapons instructor. I'm a veteran. They say he been to war. I've been to war. He killed 18 people, injured 20 others.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor and go get his ass. Stop playing.
Facts, man.
A bunch of y'all know the area. A bunch of y'all are familiar with the area. I actually had a conversation about this earlier. They're letting local law enforcement do their thing before the big boys come in. Y'all got about 24 more hours before people start talking shit. Sorry, Ted.
No, it's okay. That needs to be said.
Y'all got to make this one explicit. I know he can shoot and all this and all that. Y'all act like he the only one who can shoot. All them damn hunters y'all got everywhere around this country, especially in these rural areas. A bunch of y'all know these areas and y'all know where to find folks at. Y'all know all the hiding spots. What y'all doing? Yeah. Go and get that dude and get this over with. As far as what's going on over in the Middle East, touchy situation, controversial to a lot of people. The conversations get real intense. All I know is we got 2 aircraft carrier groups over there just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who are not familiar with the military, 2 aircraft carrier groups is a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just be honest with you, all right? Yeah. That's a lot of shit. And I throw it out there. Israel don't really need nobody help. Them dudes being shot at is on-the-job training for their pilots. All they need is more planes, and they know what they're up against because this is not a new issue. This is not a new conflict. This has been happening since most of you all were born and since your grandparents were babies. The only reason you're shocked and you're appalled and you all upset because your ass ain't been watching the news.
Nope.
This has been going on since I was
because no one trusts the news anymore.
You ain't got to trust it, but there was a line before. This has been going on since we was in junior high.
Yeah. This is
straight up. That group is not new. That group has been around like Hezbollah, Boko Haram, and Al Qaeda. Stop it. All they waiting on is we need help and everybody going. Anything that's going on over there, talk to some people from that area, talk to some people from that region. Let them give y'all the scoop instead of following the media. It's a bunch of y'all talking and don't watch the news no damn way.
No,
Yep.
man.
It's probably trying to be too big because I'm gonna start going off up in here like I used to when I first started. Go ahead, man.
It's ugly, man. It's ugly. So you gotta pray for them folks, man.
Right.
You gotta pray for both sides, man. Pray for the
You
families.
gotta pray for both sides. The kids getting killed is that's
man. Families, innocent families, man.
Y'all cross
like
kidnapped.
Kidnapped. This is ugly, man. It's real ugly.
Stop it.
Last person we won't be talking about, well, the two people we won't be talking about, Cesar Pena and DJ Envy. We won't be talking about them.
You know, a bunch of these people going down for these Ponzi schemes. I want everybody to look into it a little bit more. Even when the crypto thing was going on, they was talking about Ponzi. There was a couple of them, but there was some legit ones. It's not all of them. So it's all about the technicalities and the legalities of the writing of what they got a part of. They made the money, but somebody found something to get them on.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the whole story. I don't even want to see it.
Yeah.
Because everybody's getting caught up. That's why you got to be careful when you jump into new businesses. This is a stereotype against a bunch of new businesses, Ponzi schemes. And on top of those two people you don't want to talk about, two other folks you don't want to talk about is James Harden and Anthony Davis. Y'all jokers got shit y'all got to fix.
Yo, James Harden. Yo, they shut James Harden down.
They shutting Anthony Davis down.
No, but James Harden was trying to get on a plane.
I saw that.
To go to Milwaukee.
I saw that.
They said, nah, bro. We good.
They don't want
We're good.
And you know what? I'm not mad at it. You didn't show up to training camp. You know, you didn't show up to practice. Then you want to magically just show up and be like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. Nah, we're good.
Smokey, you bugging. Let me find out they're on the show. I'm going to be in the audience.
Smokey, he's going to cover Real Estate Rico and flipping homes or flipping whatever on Sunday show.
And matter of fact, I'm going to need y'all to check on your boy Dwight Howard. I don't know what the hell's going on with him either.
The Dwight Howard situation is messy.
Yo.
It's messy, man.
Smoke, cover Dwight Howard, please, on Sunday.
Oh my God! Why would you?
Pretty much what happened. What happened is that it got outed because of this man went to court.
Went to court.
And
got outed.
Dwight Howard said some things, and he outed.
This guy has like 10 children by like 9 baby moms.
What was crazy is that he kind of put it out there a little bit. We seen some of the signs, some of the clues, you know what I mean? There's been some videos out there, and you're kind of like, nah, that, you know, my eyes are playing tricks on me, man. I can't, that's not real. That didn't happen. Nah, that's not it. He didn't say that. And then this thing happened. And I was like, all right. And you just leave it. That's it. You just go, all right. That's it. Dwight gonna get cooked. Oh my God.
See, Smoke, I might just let you Smoke, you can have an hour by yourself on that one. I know how you get.
Not even going
an hour yourself. I already know how you get.
I'm not even going there.
Crazy, man. All I know is that it happened. Man, met with the guy. Something happened. Somebody by the name of Kitty showed up. Oh man, this joint, man.
You remember like 10 years ago when Mr. C was getting cooked?
Oh yeah.
Mr. C got recorded. Mr. C got recorded.
He was getting cooked.
He got recorded. I saw that video. He
got recorded. They got cooked. Yep. He got cooked. The person went out there in the middle and told him. Yeah, man.
Jeez.
He couldn't live that down.
Nah.
Bobby Valentino got cooked. Remember that? Bobby Valentino a while ago got cooked.
I remember Michael Irvin got it. I remember Eddie Murphy got it.
Oh, yeah.
He got it. Oh, that mess.
Didn't Teddy Pendergrass get it?
Yeah.
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 It's
Man.
crazy.
So,
You know.
yeah, man.
But Joe, any 1FC cards
There's a
in
Friday
the
fight
AM or
going
no?
on in the morning. Yeah. One Friday fight should be going on in the morning tomorrow morning. Well, yeah, in the morning. Catch it 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on YouTube. A little bit of MMA, a lot of Muay Thai and kickboxing bouts. Always exciting to watch. Yeah.
Always exciting. Always exciting. You know,
Oh,
love what they do.
yeah, man.
I love the fact that they're coming to the arenas that are 7 to 10,000 seats, and they're selling it out like that.
Yep. They're doing a very
They're,
good job, man. They're doing a
they're
very
selling
good
it
job.
out.
Yeah.
You know, I listened to a podcast where the CEO was talking. He was like, I could go after the 18,000 seat arenas, but he's like, you know what? Let's work towards that. Let's sell this stuff out really quick. Boom, boom, boom. There's no
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. And if there's more demand for it, that's when you go and get the bigger seats,
Right.
the more seats.
Right.
Yeah. The bigger arenas.
Man, I think we're going to come to a close. Want to thank both of you gentlemen for jumping on. Want to thank Danny Thompson for jumping on.
It was Danny Thompson, man. That was prime time right there.
Definitely.
That was prime time to me. I was just thinking about that the other night. I was like, this is his time. He needs to
This
be
is
up
his
there.
time.
Big ups for that. Big ups for that.
We might do something next week with a specialist from the NHL to talk a little hockey, get us up to speed on the new season starting and everything else like that. Some things that we should be aware of. We'd like to throw it out there to these specialists, hit them with 5 questions, and then it kind of allows them to elaborate from that point on.
Right.
Mr. B, where can we find you?
Find me on the app formerly known as Twitter. New Year, same B at Mr. B 1986. Drop a DM. See my tweets and my retweets. And I'm on OK Live on the weekends, man. OK Live is this app headed by the Europeans, the Russians, them. There's English folks on there. There's folks speak English, but I'm on there, man. Mr. B is the name, is the profile name. Catch me there when you're trying to watch fights on the weekend. I'm there doing commentary while watching fights. It's hilarious. It's an entertaining time. But yeah, catch it.
It usually is. And the one issue that I have with you when you do live stream is your connection is quicker than mine. So I'm hearing the sound effects and I'm hearing your commentary, and then it's happening on my screen, and I'm like, Tony D, where do we catch you? Where can we catch you? Across the interwebs?
Bill King's Fitness Football League Sunday morning. Should be good this Sunday to do one. I got catching up to do. My link tree, Tony D. Original, you see on my social media platforms. Bathurst has been jumping up a little bit. I popped up with him last night for about an hour. We talked some football. Big ups to him. Big ups to Fireman Rich. Big ups to you, Ted. Appreciate you as always. JoJo, you already know what it is. Smoke, you already know what it is. Random Rick was coming through. I should be around this weekend. Still making my move and bringing stuff in and situating and organizing. And Lord, I got to condense some mess. I don't even want to show you how my background looks like. But making it to work. I'll be out of town next week for a conference. So I'm in next Thursday. I'll try to be there if I can, depending on how the mornings go and the evenings go. But it's going to be union training, so I'm happy about that because I've been requesting to get more active and get more training on what they got going on at high levels.
Okay.
So I may do something, my own broadcast tomorrow night, do a little music, do a little current events. We covered a lot of what I would say tonight. There's a couple more I can pull up. There's some articles I'm seeing I don't like. And there's some events going on in the world. I just want to touch on myself. So appreciate you as always, man.
Got it. Big shout out to Brian.
Brian,
we're going to hold that segment until next week. or until if we might even discuss it on Bell Kings on Sunday if Brian is on there.
I might
Try to
try
shoehorn that in.
Yeah, I might try and jump it before, not tomorrow night or Saturday night. I'll see if I'll be able to get up.
Okay.
I'll see if I'll be able to get up. I'll get him up.
And this is Ted Hicks. We're out.
Peace, y'all.